Hi, everybody. Welcome. I'm Teri at Holding Your Space, and this is Grandmother BC. So, good to see everybody today. We're here, and if you see this later, um, welcome. So, anytime you see this. Anyway, so I want to introduce BC again. She's been on the channel many, many times, and BC is a crystal healer. You were also a nurse and a chiropractor, is that right?
No. I went to chiropractic college and then
Okay.
I dropped. I was raising 4 kids, going to school, no child support, and I ended up doing practice building and management for chiropractors. And then I eventually had my own natural healing education center in Dallas for 10 years.
That's right, that's right. I was trying to remember. I knew, so it's funny, there's another person I work with on YouTube, Dr. Gail, and
Oh,
she's a chiropractor and a nurse and a healer, and you guys just your energy, it's different, but it's the same. It's that healing energy. And, BC is in Arkansas, and for years, she lived above crystal mines. And there's so much awakening going on, I think, in all around the planet, number 1, but particularly Arkansas seems to be just kind of raising up. Do you feel like that?
oh, I do. Yeah, it
Yeah.
feels like a major energy in many dimensions of light being channeled down through um, Arkansas and into the crystal grid, radiating out all over the planet.
Yeah.
It feels that with all the input of information and light that's going on right now, just the energy of it is coming into the planet. And then it's almost like it's radiating out like roots within the crystal channels all over the planet.
Yeah. I always say this, I think Arkansas is gonna be the next Sedona.
I think it's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. Already there? Yeah. I
Getting
think you're right. Okay, technical difficulties. Sorry, everybody. So I'll just say hi to the tribes coming in, and everybody's saying, "Hey, BC." They're so happy to see you. So Gina, hello. Garnet, Sue, Richie. Hi, Richie. Michelle Krantz, Barbara, Denise. Um, there's there's so much going on the planet, and we were kind of talking about that backstage. How we can go through this time and walk in our light and be unconditional with our light. And unconditional came up, and gosh, that was a word that I felt like I'd been missing for a while. Unconditional, because there are so many conditions and so much duality right now. Um, anyway, so um, we were talking about what you were hearing lately, um, not just from George, but from Saint Germain. Oh, I failed to mention this. BC was also George's partner in many spiritual events, including traveling around the world on the astral uh, dimension, and they continue to do so. So they are still partners, and we often feel George come in when we're doing meditations, and everybody's like, "Oh, here comes George."
I know. And when I was getting ready to do the show, he came and he wants to tell all of you that he is so much freer to love and connect with each and every one of you than he even was while he was in the physical. So just know that he is with you, each and every one of you, loving what you're doing and how you're doing it, and supporting you in finding your path to be truly healed and whole.
Yeah. I feel him around, here all the time. And I know that they can be in more places than one.
Yeah.
We talked about that too. And his mantras and everything that he did. He was just and I crack up all the time thinking how I met him at a garage sale. And he did that on purpose, didn't he, those garage sales?
Yes, he did. He would be with me on Messenger and we're talking. He had a TV set up so he could tell if somebody came to the estate sale, he called it. Oh, I gotta go. And then he would come back. He did healings for everybody. Everybody who came, he demonstrated crystal healing and talked to them, and just got so much joy from connecting with people and helping people. He would say, one more healing, one more healing.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the reason that he and even each of us is able to be with different people in their awareness all at the same time is because we really are all one. And more as we integrate the light and be who we really are in this lifetime, we're going to find that out more and more, that we really are connected and able to be with many people all at the same time.
And what do you feel about timelines and dimensions? Do you feel like we're all doing that at the same time as well?
I do too. And I think that on planet Earth, we agreed to do what we call here time.
Mm-hmm.
So that means in this dual polarity reality, we're really connected into time. And time really is there for the purpose of us being able to look at in the now, whether we're pulling something from the past or thinking about something in the future. In the time, in the now, is the opportunity to be timeless and create a healed reality. Time is just, it's there for us to learn, to remember who we are. And it's not valid on other dimensions.
Isn't that interesting? I do feel like it's kind of like gravity, isn't it? Like there's such a heavy, dense gravity here, which is kind of fun, they say, because we have all our senses here that we may not have on another planet, right? Or another dimension, being able to touch things and smell things and
Yeah.
feel things, but also we get cut off from our subtle senses, remembering and awakening. And that's what's going on now with everybody here. So, hey, Chris. Hey, Barbara, Sally. It's so good to have everybody coming in. So we were also talking about what we can do right now to be unconditional and to share light on the planet. And it's a hard time for a lot of people.
Yeah, it really is. Yes. And
Yeah.
also, when I was getting ready to be with you all, this came in addressing what you just said. The teachers, angels, archangels, ascended beings of light from every dimension are focusing on the awakening event taking place on planet Earth right now. And the challenge for each of us is to not buy into and empowering the fear and gloom and doom and blame and shame. Even so many people are talking about the end of the world. The challenge is to be aware of all that, as Teri was talking about backstage with me, of being the observer of it. And it's okay to see that, but to know that you're observing it, and you can change everything by choosing the other polarity of that, which is light and truth and healing. By seeing, holding light and truth and healing, we are bringing it about. We're doing it, guys. It's what we're here for. And
Way
then,
jealous. Yeah.
and then they said, this is it. We are the awakening. We are the awakening. That's a huge responsibility and a great joy. We are the awakening.
I love that. Sometimes, and we talk about this, the FGOs, great awakenings happening when we have these moments of deep grief
Yeah.
and change on the planet, and it's a reset. And it's hard to remember that we're light workers sometimes in a spirit tribe. It might take us a few seconds, and that's okay. Yeah, it's been a long road, right, Garnet? And trying to get into that mindset, but watching, it's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be fearful. It's okay as long as we walk into that with observation and unconditional love. Unconditional love is like just huge. And I love that you were talking about being sending unconditional love to the government, even, and especially to the government, especially to the wars, planting that love there for everyone.
When the man who was elected president for the upcoming term, when he was elected last time, I was so shocked and filled with fear that I actually had a small stroke.
Wow.
Just because I was like tuned in to what could be, some of what did happen. This time, though, during the 4 years following that, I was able to learn to look at this being as a being of light and to observe what it was that did not resonate, things that I certainly wouldn't choose to create and manifest in my life, ways that I wouldn't choose to be, but yet to connect with the spiritual being of light that he is, and to continually send light and peace and healing. Healed reality means coming from love and truth and desire for well-being for all, desire for oneness rather than separation. And I know that is there for all of us and for him as well. And I keep thinking about, I'm going to keep doing that, because what if there was an awakening or a beginning of an awakening? What if this leader, who's an incredible, powerful leader, could shift his focus to we are one, to love is the only power? It might take a couple lifetimes for that to totally happen, but this is like a lot of people are talking about the end times, and there's a lot of fear about the end of the world. The truth is that it's a beginning, and that these are the labor pains of birthing the new reality, the healing reality on planet Earth. And we're here to be the ones to bring forth that new awakening, each of us in our own way, through our challenges and situations that we need to hold light in and be present in as who we are.
Beautiful. I love that. I love what everybody's saying. Richie's saying, oops, where'd you go, Richie? Wow, I love your perspective and evolution of thought. Thank you, BC. Hypnicity's saying, we need to pray for those we don't understand. Remember that every soul has a purpose.
So true.
Yeah, and it's interesting how we play our parts in this too, and how 45 and maybe 47 is playing his part in it, and because he's playing it with abandon. like he's just out there, man. And it's really interesting to watch somebody play like that. Um and um Sal, yeah, different this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 2016, um, it was really weird, wasn't it? And people did look at moving, and people still are looking at moving out of the country. But I really feel like there's a lot of good still here in this world. I mean, all over the world. And when you look around, there's stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Ancient of Days. I saw you shining in the sun this morning. Oh, Ancient of Days.
That's so beautiful.
Garnet. I love that. Yeah. Hypnicity, you had remote views of this outcome, but were afraid to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw the blue snakes coming in, or the red snakes into the blue wave, but I always saw a blue wave. I think we probably did have a blue wave. We have a terrific opportunity to restore Mother Earth's Garden of Eden and be loving. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lori says, I have been having a knowing the last 8 years are completing the cycle. It fits with the infinity sign. It feels like an ending. So pleased you are saying a new beginning. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And Barbara's saying, I'm starting to see it on so many levels, generational, masculine, feminine, and spiritual.
Yes.
Yeah. When she says, Terry, I like how you referred to him as 45, then 47, like he's a different person. Let's hope he has grown and evolved. Um, and that's something really important to look at too, that um, he did pick up some new words, didn't he? And because when Kamala came in, it was definitely about joy and a lot of spiritual terms that he was using or she was using. And now he's kind of picked up on that and he's carrying it through.
Yeah.
So,
I think that whatever works is what he will use. And I love it that we all got it, that what works is focus on peace and harmony and equality for all. He got it that she came from nowhere to, it was really close.
yeah, it was really close,
For
really close.
such a short campaign period.
Such a short campaign period. It wasn't well thought out. I think they kind of turned around at the end there. I mean, I don't know anything about politics, but just hearing what people said and how the polling and whatnot was going was not well done. Um, and you were talking about birth pains too, which are new Earth as it comes up. Do you want to talk some more about that, or?
Sure. Well, the fact that we are birthing the new earth, and all the religions, it seems, talk about a time when there will be peace reigning. And I come from a Christian background, and for my understanding from that background, it's about manifesting heaven on earth, which just means that we're free of the duality, that we really, truly are aware that we get to choose what we manifest in our lives as awakening spiritual beings. We get to choose vibrational frequencies that then show up in our outside reality. And it's true on a personal level, it's true on a planetary level. And I especially love this background today because when I meditate and look at the planet, this has been happening for years, I see these beautiful lights on all over the planet. lights, kind of like that, but they're awakening spiritual beings all over the planet. And when I first saw it, probably 30 years ago, there was not all that many, but still it was like, look at that. I felt like there was a connection, a kinship. But now there's so many. And 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 it seems like the etheric spiritual retreats of the ascended masters um, are connecting more and more and able to send more and more teaching and more energy. And it's true for no matter what area, what dimension the teachers are sending us light. They're sending this light in support of the awakening. And the only reason there's negative input too is because we need that to see the contrast, to see where we still need to send light and see light and send love. That's it.
Yeah.
All the negative is there for us to notice and be aware enough to send love and light it up.
It's like a reset, isn't it?
It is.
And hey, Tanita, and Annie Bear just walked in. Hello, Annie. So yeah, that reset, we had the reset with the pandemic. We had the reset with 2016. Now we're having the reset of 2024. And each time it gets different. Like we see it a little differently. He's still pushing his stuff, but I don't think a lot of that's going to happen. But maybe it has to for people to see that it's wrong. Maybe that's what it is. It's lots of lessons being delivered either way, right, Amanda? Definitely. There's going to be a lot going on. So how can we stay calm? Oh, that's a good one. I love this hypnicity. Pandora's box is opened. Hello. So how can we stay calm while that's going on?
Each of us, in our own way, has learned to come to peace inside of us. The challenge is to be able to remember and access that no matter what else is going on around us. Because that sense of peace, that inner core of peace, is our home. It's who we really are. And when we're able to stay in that space, that peace, then all the rest of the yada yada going on around, we're observing it, but we're staying in that peace. And that's the whole challenge. And each of us, in our own way, when the challenges come up on a daily basis, just to be able to remember to come to that place of peace. And I think that a pretty interesting thing for me in my awakening process has been that I remember when I realized that my high self was coming present to be to fully incarnate. I remember thinking, well, I wonder if my high self knows how to drive. Little ego stuff there going on.
I could take a little help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So,
neither one of us do.
but now, just recently, I had this realization. I was on a busy the bypass here in Hot Springs, and it was like a lot of traffic, and inside of me, I said, I am driving here, and it was my high self. So
Wow.
so for me, I know that sounds a little weird, but for me, it's like that's what part of the awakening is about. It's about recognizing that I am driving. I am making the choices. I am
Oh,
able to access that peace and stay there no matter what. I am able to radiate unconditional love no matter what happens. I
wow.
am guided by the spirit that I am.
So I'm just getting a ding, 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 ding. It feels like, since the I am is coming in to play and, come into play and, and and the crystalline energy on the earth is awakening even more so, or we're becoming aware of it more so. The grounding looks a lot different now, doesn't it? Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's flipped a dimension switch too.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. So, sometimes this is really interesting because a lot of times I feel like I'm flying, especially when I'm driving. That's why I don't drive very often because my hands are on the wheel, but my body's flying behind me. Um, and and so that's interesting. So now grounding takes on a different meaning,
Yes.
a different look. Yeah. Hypnicity says trust everything is as it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Garnet, The Seven Seals, the book of revaluations, Judo tribe, worthy to open. Oh, good. I'm going to look for that.
That's
I
it.
am that I am.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, you know, the perfect mantra for that. I am. It's my driver, the cool of the engine. Yeah. So, um, well, that crystalline energy in the I am, that does take us to a new dimension. Is that the fifth dimension?
I think it has connections beyond the fifth dimension. And speaking of the crystalline energy, it's like the human body is the closest in its formation, molecular and atomic structure. The physical body is closest to quartz crystal, and so what's happening as we come present, truly present, is that the cells in the body can be used to receive and transmit as quartz crystal, crystalline energy. So the body itself has the capacity to take on the aspects of the crystalline body.
Wow. That's so beautiful. Is that the same thing that you would say called a light body? Because when we go into meditations and we acclimate with the energy of the higher self, it's always we acclimate the physical form in every cell, and then we acclimate the auric field and emotions and senses, and then we acclimate the light body, which I always see the light body as being a hologram around the auric field. Is that what you would call the crystalline body?
I don't know. I'm not going to tell you if I don't know.
Okay, good. Yeah.
No, and talking about our true body is the light body. It's like it extends way out, way, way, way out, and it is the light that we are. Who we think we are, encased in this human form, is just a small particle of who we really are. And as we awaken, I think we become more and more aware that there's more to us. But the physical apparatus we inhabit with the physical, emotional, mental, etheric, that's the auric body field.
Yeah.
That's like an encapsulation of a small part of us that agreed to be human.
Wow.
The body is just dimensionless.
So that's like because oftentimes when we see the archangels, especially Metatron, we see them, maybe several stories tall or more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Lori says, I love hearing this. 2 mornings ago, I woke up hearing, I am the hope of things to come. I've been saying it over and over. Wonderful to know this deeper connection to my higher self.
It's so beautiful. It makes me want to cry.
I know, Lori, that is so beautiful. I love that.
It's true.
Um,
Yes.
yeah, hypnicity, right, gives Popeye a whole new meaning. I am that I am. It's true. How often have we heard that? And we heard it in a different connotation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Gina, wow, didn't know that. Quartz crystal in humans. Also stardust. Our bodies are also made from stardust.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I had heard that before from a scientist, which is really interesting. Also, it was interesting. I was listening to he wasn't an astrophysicist, he was an astroscientist, the other day, and he was talking about the Platonic plates. And he said, there are organisms that are living down there. It's like everything's alive on this planet. So interesting. I'm sure those are filled with the crystalline energy too. Garnet, the lost jockey painting is the higher self, the jockey that controls the horse. Grid painting, can't remember the artist. Oh, okay. I'm going to have to look for that, Garnet. Thank you. Yeah, this is a spacesuit.
Yes.
I'm higher than the world. Definitely we're bigger than this thing, right? Oh, hi, Brenda. You came at just the right time, honey. Hey, Teresa Ford. Joni Mitchell was right. Always. I love her. Yeah. There are many layers that we don't see. Yeah. So many layers we don't see. And I like this background because I do see all those lights coming on board.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when we look at a child that's misbehaved or something, or an animal that's misbehaved, right? But we see their light and we connect with their light. It changes everything for that child. And I think when we see somebody that's on the other side politically and we see their light, it changes the field. And it might take a while before they see that, but it does change the field. Loving people where they're at. And sometimes that starts with family. We were kind of talking about that backstage too.
Yes.
Yeah, loving family where they're at, and then loving, like, not wishing that things were different every time you see them, instead loving them as they are. So you also talked about Saint Germain, and BC is a amazing channeler. I think you guys know that, and she is. She also channels Saint Germain, among others. And you told me backstage that Saint Germain said, we are healing the reality. Was that it?
He said planet Earth operates on a dual polarity reality. Dual polarity, right, left, good, bad, male, female. And he said that it is spiritual law. If you discern a problem, the solution exists simultaneously. So our challenge is to remember that if this is a problem, open to access the solution. Sometimes he says just opening to allow the solution to come will shift the whole thing. And he says, if there is a situation you discern in need of healing, the instant you discern the situation in need of healing, the healed reality exists simultaneously. And we can access and begin more fully to manifest that healed reality by feeling what it's going to feel like when it's already healed. feeling that and feeling the intense gratitude of, oh, it's already healed, feeling that gratitude. I'm getting chills telling you about it.
I am too.
And source fills in the blanks. It's like with our feelings and our thoughts, as humans, we create our reality. As awakening humans, we get to make choices about how we create our reality. And it's natural law. If something is in need of healing, we discern it. It's up to us to access the healed reality. He says the key words are access healed reality.
Access healed reality. I love that.
And to feel it, to feel each of us what it's going to feel like when it's already healed.
And I love that. So that's such an important part of manifesting, isn't it?
It is.
To feel it, and bringing your senses in creates a neural pathway for the event to happen physically. And I think sometimes we forget about the physical part of all this because we're here on the physical plane and opening up those neural pathways because we are on a physical planet and then going into the subtle senses of knowing and remembering.
Yes.
And then much farther than that, living in grace with it, thanking the universe for that. Like, thank you.
Yeah.
Walking like you're 2 stories tall in your astral body. So, yeah.
And Mother Mary says to each of us to remember that planet Earth is a kindergarten filled with wounded children. And that our job is to send healing and hold each and every one as healed and whole and precious, whether they're in big bodies or little bodies or male or female or politicians.
Yeah. Yeah, those little kids that are acting out.
Acting out of the woundedness.
Yeah, definitely acting out of the woundedness, right? It's and there is so much trauma. And trauma is what awakens us on this field.
Right.
So many times. That's another thing that we'll talk about in a minute. Hypnicity said in our automatic writing with Saint Germain, he said, my job is to shine my light here. And I love that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Richie is asking a question. BC, when you channel or work with Saint Germain, do you feel a temperature change in your body? Like, does your body get hot? Just curious.
No, he's been with me for so long. What he did tell me though that he'll let me know when he's there because it'll feel like somebody rubbing a feather quill under my nose. That's from when he was Saint Germain. I mean, when he was Will Shakespeare, feather quill. And also I'll see like sparks of purple. But this is a real heads up for me that he wants to say something. And when I work, because he's a major teacher for me, I think that I attract other people who are students of his too. And so part of my job is to help them to remember how to be who they are and work with him. Yeah. So now sometimes when I work, I channel. When I do healing sessions, I channel. And sometimes it will get so darn hot that I have to turn on the fan or step up the air conditioning. Not cold, really. I feel cold like if there is a being in proximity that wants to communicate, like when I'm not working, when I'm not in that space of present as who I am. So I do feel temperature changes. But Saint Germain's been with me so long.
Since your kids were little, right?
Ginger was 6 years old, and now she's 53. And constantly with me, helping me, supporting me through challenges and accomplishing things that I had no idea I could do.
Yeah, walking with our angels and ascended masters, not a bad way to go through life.
No,
Yeah,
thank you.
amazing. I love that. That's a great question, Richie. Thank you. Hypnicity says, I was thinking if this is school, maybe politicians are a final exam.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Lori says, the remembering is slightly overwhelming right now. I keep asking if we are remembering the times we have done this before in other universes. Is that why this is so jolting? Interesting.
I have a suspicion that this might be true of you too, Laurie. I had a memory, in fact, a series of memories of being a light worker on a planet called Maldek. And we were sent in as the last ditch effort right before it self imploded and destroyed everybody and everything, the physical of it. And then I remember being on a ship, seeing it implode, and just sobbing and feeling like I had flunked the mission, so to speak, that I had failed to sort of support enough beings into claiming the light instead of being seduced by the darkness.
Wow.
Which caused the.
Was that the Hadarians on Maldek?
I don't know. It was. I think Maldek was in this solar system.
Okay.
I think so. But I have that memory, and then I remember touching down into a body that was about 12 years old in the Andes, off of the ship after Maldek.
Wow.
But that was an amazing thing too, because those beings who were there and made choices not of the light are here for a second chance.
Yeah.
So now they have the opportunity to choose the light this time.
And it's a free will planet.
It is.
Yeah. So as much love and light as we send.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Yeah, I do love that. Yeah. If you can love a politician, you can support anyone. Yeah. It is like taking tests at school, isn't it? Yeah, totally. Hey, Paul, how you doing? Yeah, everybody's got an AT family, honey. Everybody. And we've talked about that before, like coming down to this planet and what it feels like when we come down.
And my understanding is that the extraterrestrials are not allowed at this point to come in and interfere. So some of us agreed to take on physical form. The awakening has to take place through the humans. So some of us are here as emissaries for other dimensional beings, because that's what we are. But we still have to go through the whole thing and do the awakening and remember who we are, so that we can touch the light in other awakening humans.
Yeah, and that's why I think so often we'll see that people that are awakened and awakening have had so many traumas, perhaps, or so many drama, karma, that we're like, oh, okay, let's reshift. And it seems like what's going on now on the planet is reshifting everybody at the same time. or giving them the opportunity to. Yeah. Oh, Lori, that makes sense to you. My tears are now for the pain people will feel while learning the truth of current events. I will keep crying for their awakenings are going to shatter them. Yeah. Yeah. White Dragon. Yep, I'm all over the place, man.
Teacher Kuan Yin for Laurie.
Oh,
She says to tell you, observe with compassion and send love.
thank you for saying that, BC. So, I recently heard somebody talking about this and how we can care about people, but when we care, that often, even in my heart, when I say it, it's like you're tied to the outcome. And when you're tied to the outcome for someone, it's hard to help. But when we have compassion, it has a whole different vibration to it. And compassion is watching things happen with compassion and being there to help because you're that much removed. It's like putting on your face mask first, almost. Do you have any tips on that?
Putting on your face mask first.
Yeah,
okay. What comes is making choices based on your own spiritual interest, no matter what somebody else might think. If it's in your spiritual best interest, it's in everybody's spiritual best interest.
Yeah.
Putting a face mask on.
Yeah. Excuse me, guys.
I had the wrong analogy. I was thinking about those face masks that drop down in an airplane. And
that's what I was thinking about.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you were right. You had that. Okay. Paul says, I feel like Earth is not the only one we are on. Not alone. Wow. Yeah. No, we've got a lot of helpers here.
And a lot of there are planets and other dimensions who are sending us light and love too.
Yeah. And I do feel like I've got Lyrans that come in when I go out in public sometimes that are walking around. Do you ever see that? That you see beings that you know are not earthlings?
Yeah, I see it on television too.
Yeah.
You can just tell.
Right?
Some of us are sneaky and you can't tell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot on TV, a lot in politics right now. So we also talked about a healed reality. And that healed reality, when we see it with compassion, how do we stay in that daily?
Well, it's a practice. And again, it's a little bit about putting on the face mask first. It's like knowing yourself as healed and whole. Period. I mean, all of us have been seekers. And what is up now is the time for us to claim that we know, and we do. And it doesn't matter what classes we've taken or books we've read. Those were just to help us to remember what we know, because we do know what healed reality is for each one of us. And it's not about how things on the outside look. It's about how we are inside. And staying in that healed reality, I mean, as long as we're in physical form, we're going to keep getting challenges to draw us out of temptations to feel like, oh, well, this not right for me. But it's all about us, each one of us, knowing ourselves as healed and whole, and then how much powerful we are as a healing instrument, because we can look in the eyes of everyone else from that space, healed and whole, even if it's a holy instant, and see that other person is healed and whole, and it will manifest.
It completely changes your relationship to people, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. Even if you're just walking by them, it changes the relationship of how they react to us. I love that. And I love what you said, that you channeled. This is it. We are the awakening. And this is the time to step forward and choose to be that. Yeah.
It's true. We are not alone. We are not. All we have to do is ask for help and know that the solution is there simultaneously. And the healed reality is there simultaneously. It's just our viewpoint and how we see it that takes form and manifests out there.
Yeah, that conditioned mind on this planet, and that voice that we hear in our heads from growing up and getting all the constructs. It's clearing that out and seeing our light. That's a big change.
I'm so proud of all of us.
Aw.
This is really it, guys. This is it. We're doing it.
Yeah, this is the next step. That's amazing. I love that. So this is huge. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm getting a major ding, 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 ding. So that this is it. And here we go. Yeah. Sending everybody love and courage, right?
Yes.
Light. Bright, shiny ray. You're right. Yeah. Especially Merrick Garland in particular. So, and we talked about, do you want to talk about George and his transition and all, as far as he walked out in a state of grace, and I feel like both you and George live your life in a state of grace.
I don't know where you want me to start.
Wherever you want.
George was ill for a very long time with the cancer, and he refused to buy into it. In fact, I was telling Teri that his phrase was one more healing. And in the hospital, he came to be with me. He moved down here. We're going to work together. And he was just here for a pretty short time and went into the hospital. And then the doctors here with new eyes looked at his situation physically. And he finally got it that his body was about to expire. Bodies are biodegradable. And so I picked him up at the hospital, and he did not want to come home. We were going to have home health care and get him all set up. He was going to take me to dinner, and that was it. So I got his walker, and we go into the restaurant, and he is sitting there, and I feel everything shift, and I look at him, and he says, "BC, are you happy?" And I said, "I am so happy." And I asked him, "Are you happy?" He said, "I'm happy when I'm with you." And it was just like this incredible happiness. And then he started choking and had the heart attack and dropped his body. So the words were, the teaching, even up until the end, was about being happy and being able to connect. And it wasn't just about George and I, it's about all of us. We can really connect and send and receive support when our vibrations are higher. And the very first words he said to me a few days after he crossed over were, BC, I can communicate with you when you're happy. So, he is supportive of me staying in a high vibrational frequency.
And you guys continue your work together.
We do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's beautiful. There's I can't remember the term for it. George's Reverend Saul White Dragon. There's he was on quite a few times, I think 17 times, but there's with BC quite a bit too. And there's not a channel, but an area on my channel that just has him on it. But there's this old Buddhist tradition that if you walk out in a state of grace, in a state of joy, that then when you walk into your next body or you transition, and then you transition into your next lifetime, if you wish it, that you will walk in fully aware. You won't have to go through the pains of, constructs that we do here. And so it changes completely. Many have done this. The Dalai Lama, Buddha, Yeshua. It's a state of being. So Hypnicity says he's on my spirit team. Yeah.
Each and every one of you guys.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. And Richie says, oh boy, my empath is coming out. That was so beautiful, BC. I'm not crying. I just have something in my eyes. 100%, Paul. BC, you should be writing a book right now on your life. It would be a hit.
I will. I've been waiting until I could write it without negativity or some kind of not claiming responsibility for the consequences of all my choices. I didn't want to put anything out there that would be like, oh, that's horrible, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I am there, and I have been starting to write about the aha moments in my life and put that together.
Yeah, we would love that. We would love that.
Thank you. Yes.
I feel like it'd be a movie, BC. Definitely a movie. And I have somewhere here your information. Oh, here it is. And it's also in the description, you guys. So if you want to contact Grandmother BC, this is her email. It's bcbarton9@gmail.com. And BC does beautiful healings and the healing. It's like such a spiritual thing because it's a healing of body, mind, and soul, and you channel as well. For me, you have when we've done healings. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So, do you have anything else that you want to say before we leave today?
Be happy. Be happy. Be happy. And know that the Ascended Masters say that attaining mastery means claiming your power, claiming your ability to access peace in the midst of chaos, claiming your ability to access love in the midst of hate, and to access light in the midst of darkness. Remember, it is your choice.
Wow.
Love.
That's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here. And everybody here, thank you for being here. You're definitely a tribe favorite, BC. So
I love you guys.
Oh, we love you so much.
I love it that you love George, and I love it that he's working with you and many others too. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, well, you both are. You both are. It's a joy to always have you on. So,
Thank you.
yeah, no, thank you so much. So everybody have a great day. I will be back. I know, White Dragon, right? I'm everywhere. And tonight we're doing the Dream Team at 8 o'clock Central on Allie's channel and my channel. So if anybody has a vision, an apparition, or a dream, bring it on by. We'll see you all later. Bye-bye.